Welcome back to Dinar Community Channel. What if one wrong decision on exchange day costs you everything you've been waiting for? Before you cash in a single dinar, ask yourself these 3 life-changing questions, because the difference between a financial breakthrough and a financial disaster starts right here. Before you walk into that bank, step into that private exchange room, or hand over a single note of your Iraqi dinar, stop. Breathe. Understand that this isn't just a financial moment, it's a life-defining one. What's at stake isn't just money. It's your future, your peace of mind, your legacy. So, before you ever consider exchanging your IQD, you must ask yourself 3 brutally honest questions. The answers may shock you. They may challenge you, but they will protect you. The first question is deceptively simple. Do I really understand what I hold? On the surface, you may think you do. You bought Iraqi dinar, likely as an investment, perhaps encouraged by news of an impending revaluation or global financial shift. You may even believe that the RV revaluation has already occurred, or that it's imminent. But strip away the hype, the rumors, and the endless speculation on forums and YouTube channels. What are you actually holding? The Iraqi dinar is a sovereign currency issued by the Central Bank of Iraq. It's not a stock, it's not a bond, and it's not a security. It is a legal tender of a country that has gone through war, reconstruction, political upheaval, and now, according to many insiders and economic signals, is undergoing a monetary reset. But even if all of that is true, do you know what denomination structure is best for exchange? Do you know whether your notes are authentic? Do you know how to verify them under a microscope or UV scanner? Because there's a real possibility that if you walk into the wrong location without preparation, you'll be told, sorry, this note isn't valid, or worse, you'll be detained for attempting to redeem counterfeit currency, even if you had no clue. Beyond physical authenticity, you need to understand the timing. If the dinar has revalued globally, then who declared it? Was it the Central Bank of Iraq? The IMF? The US Treasury? Are you operating off a legitimate rate published by an internationally recognized source, or are you going by what someone told you in a Telegram group? If the new rate is $3.71 or $5.45 or even $6.20, where is that confirmed? And if you do believe it's confirmed, then ask, is your banking institution actually honoring that rate? This is where thousands have already fallen into traps. People walked in believing their $10,000 worth of dinar was now worth millions, only to be offered a fraction, or worse, told, we don't exchange that currency. That moment isn't just disappointing. It can be soul-crushing. And often, it was avoidable with the right knowledge. So yes, before you even consider exchanging, ask yourself, do I really understand what I hold, its current status, and the mechanism of its value? The second question is even harder to face. Am I emotionally and mentally ready for a sudden wealth transfer? Most people think they are. They imagine themselves walking out of the bank, account now swelling with 7 or 8 digits, ready to buy the house, the car, the dream life. But what they don't imagine are the calls from relatives, the vultures in suits pretending to be investment experts, the random strangers who suddenly have a great opportunity, or the spiritual dilemma of what to do with your wealth now that you're not struggling anymore. Sudden wealth can destroy more than it builds, if you're not prepared. Just ask lottery winners, or athletes, or overnight tech millionaires. It's not a myth, it's a statistically proven truth. Most people who receive a large sum of money without the internal structure to manage it will lose it fast. Are you mentally conditioned to say no? Do you have a vetted legal team and financial planner on standby? Have you rehearsed what you'll say to your brother-in-law when he shows up with a business plan and tears in his eyes? Have you prepared for your kids to potentially resent you, or worship the money instead of values? These are not theoretical problems. These are the stories that have derailed families, friendships, and futures. And what about your own behavior? Will you go on a shopping spree? Will you disappear into indulgences you never allowed yourself before? Or will you go numb from decision paralysis, afraid to touch the money at all, fearing that one wrong move will unravel everything? Without emotional readiness, a wealth event becomes a curse, not a blessing. This question isn't just about budgeting or spreadsheets. It's about identity. Who are you, really, when you don't have to work for survival anymore? Will you still be driven, or will you drift? Will you still be grounded in your principles, or will you chase temporary highs and hollow praise? And here's the paradox. wealth won't change you, it will reveal you. If you're kind now, you'll likely be a generous giver. If you're reckless now, you'll probably amplify that recklessness with a higher budget. So the most honest thing you can do before you exchange is not fantasize about wealth, but examine your character under pressure. Because money is coming. But if your maturity doesn't come first, you won't keep it. The third question is the most strategic, and it's one that far too many ignore. Do I have a post-exchange plan that protects and multiplies my gains? This goes beyond, buy real estate, or, open a trust. It dives into the logistics, the strategy, the foresight. Do you have a structure for your funds, legally and financially? Do you have a multi-layered security setup, digital, physical, and human, to protect your assets and your privacy? Will your name be on a public deed? Will you use LLCs or trusts to mask ownership and limit liability? And what about taxes? This is a landmine, because depending on where you live, what rate you exchanged at, and how your gain is categorized, you could be facing a massive tax liability that wipes out more than you expected. Have you sat down with a qualified CPA or tax strategist who understands foreign currency gains? Not just any accountant, but one familiar with redemption events. And then there's the multiplier effect. The truth is, exchange day is not the finish line, it's the starting gate. What you do in the first 90 days post-exchange will shape your trajectory for the next 50 years. Are you investing conservatively at first, or chasing high-risk, high-reward returns out of greed or impatience? Are you diversifying across currencies, commodities, real estate, and digital assets, or going all in on one? And let's not forget asset protection. If you don't have a living trust, an irrevocable trust, or some form of estate planning in place, your wealth could be vulnerable to lawsuits, probate, or generational mismanagement. Think long-term. If you pass away unexpectedly, who inherits your wealth? And are they equipped to handle it? Or will it destroy them? A smart post-exchange plan also includes philanthropy, yes, giving. Not just because it feels good, but because it refines your soul and anchors your wealth to a purpose greater than yourself. Have you considered setting up a charitable foundation? Or a donor-advised fund? Have you thought about how you can leave behind more than cash, how you can leave behind impact? The irony is that many people prepare for the moment of exchange, but not for the life that follows it. And that's the most dangerous part. Because money, when handled with wisdom, becomes a generational blessing. But when mishandled, it becomes a brief spark in a legacy of regret. So yes, before you ever exchange your IQD, pause and ask yourself. 1. Do I fully understand what I hold and the true nature of this event? 2. Am I emotionally, mentally, and spiritually prepared for the weight of sudden wealth? 3. Do I have a secure, long-term plan to protect, manage, and grow this blessing? These aren't small questions, they are gateways, and how you answer them will determine whether this moment becomes your liberation or your downfall. Because this isn't about hype anymore. It's not about forum chatter or social media posts. This is real currency, real value, real life. And once you exchange, there's no going back. You can't undo the decisions. You can only live with them. Some will take the first rate they're offered and later discover they missed out on higher private contracts. Some will ignore their gut feeling and trust the wrong people, only to end up defrauded or manipulated. Others will walk in calm, quiet, prepared, and walk out transformed, not just in their net worth, but in their identity. The difference between those groups isn't luck. It's preparation. It's mindset. It's strategy. It's wisdom. So if you're reading this right now, you're ahead of the curve. You're not chasing hype, you're seeking truth. And truth, when embraced, becomes armor. You're closer than you think. The financial reset may already be unfolding behind closed doors. Major banks may be preparing tiered structures, redemptions may be quietly underway, and insiders may already be executing exchanges under strict NDAs. But none of that matters if you're not ready. And being ready isn't about speed. It's about clarity. Be clear on what you hold. Be clear on who you are. Be clear on what you'll do next. Because one decision, done right, can create freedom not just for you, but for generations. And one decision, done wrong, can erase everything you've waited for. This is your moment, not just to cash out, but to rise up, to own your future, to walk in wisdom, not fear. Ask the hard questions now, so you don't live with regret later. Because this isn't just an exchange. This is your awakening. Like and subscribe for more videos.